You're live.
Does it say live on YouTube?
I think so.
Yes, we are live. Oh my god. Oh my god. 25 minutes later, we are
25
live
minutes
on
later.
YouTube.
That's better than some other channels.
Yeah, that's awful. That's absolutely awful. Okay, we're live. Sorry for a 25-minute delay. We had major connection issues.
I'm not sorry for anything.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So who's watching?
Well, since we're 25-minute late, looks like nobody's watching.
I don't know about that. What about what are we using for like the titles and stuff here?
What titles? You already have your title. Help
Yeah,
me
it's
build
not a
a
very
7800X
attractive
video.
title.
Well, that's what you put.
Help me. No, really help me.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All right, well this gets
Okay.
kept I think this gets saved for other people, right? Like if we want to,
Yeah, it
if someone
does.
wants
You
to
just
watch
ripped
it
it.
after that. Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So we're live. What's the story now? What's going on?
Oh, what a story. So, dating back about 2 years ago, I decided to build a small form factor computer. And everyone I knew that cared about PCs, which pretty much meant just you, said, don't do it. It's a bad idea. This was during the whole GPU craze as well. And I was looking into getting a RTX 3080, and I was looking for a specific model. I was looking for the XC3 from EVGA because it was the smallest one that could fit in the Meshify C. So it seems like small form factor is something that keeps following me around. Now, I ended up getting a 3080 and a 3070. And what happened is I got my hands on a used Fractal Design Node 202. And after that, I was able to build a decent system. I was able to play 4K games, not at the highest settings. I had a Intel 10400, 6-core 12-thread processor, an Asus RTX 3070 OC edition, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, micro ITX setup, 2 terabyte M.2 SSD. Everything worked out fine. I did have to undervolt the GPU, and I did have to do some creative adjustments to the system. So that being said, we're gonna bring that up really quickly because I want to just show that off real quick. Oh, wireless keyboard, what a delay. So if anyone's watching that's not subscribed, please get subscribed because this second small form factor build is gonna happen, and it's gonna be glorious.
Oh, it's gonna be a disaster.
That's what you said about the last one.
The last one was quite a disaster. This one will be even worse.
Oh, come on.
You had to jerry rig the thing to make it
I
work.
I did. I had to do a lot of stuff, and um, I mean I'm going here on the site right now, and some of the difficult things with small form factor, it's always the PSUs are insanely expensive. Now, back 2 years ago with the 3070, I was able to get away with a 650 watt SFX. SFX is the three letters there that indicate smaller form factor PSU, and I was able to get away with a 650 watt, which was still expensive compared to an ATX. Um, Plus the low profile cooler. Like there's a lot of things to take into consideration, and it was expensive. But now with the 4000 series, um, What did you say? Minimum 1000 watts for 4080?
Well, no, 4090 would be 1,000 watts. 4080
4090.
could get away.
I
Yeah.
could get away with an 850, but I don't know if that's going
Yeah.
to be stressing the system too much. Um, so we'll come back to that with the parts, but just to show how insane things can get on small form factor. I mean, here it is in all its glory. You've got a massive sized card that wasn't designed to go into this case. Um, on top of the PSU here, with a low profile cooler, I had to add a case fan and sandwich it in between the case and the cooler. So it was a fan on top of a fan, basically creating like a funnel. It worked. The GPU really didn't have too much issues with temperatures, but the CPU was really suffering. But this helped a lot. This dropped the temperatures back down, and I mean, everything sort of worked out in the end. Cable management is a nightmare, but it doesn't matter because you're not going to see inside. One of the other things I had to do was sandwich another fan just down below the GPU just to get some fresh air in. Um, that helped out a lot as well. So it was a little bit of like, okay, put it together, plan, change of plans. Oh, this was amazing. This part right here. So because of the massive RTX 3070 GPU size, this little guy here that you see sticking out, which is the plug where the power cord plugs into, had to be pulled out. Because as you can see, if it was in its original flush position, it would interfere with the GPU. So what I ended up doing was just pulling out the plug, grabbing some longer screws, and tightening it up to the point where maybe a quarter of this plug was sitting inside and the rest was out. It worked. It was fine. There was no issues. Just doesn't look pretty. That's all. And here's a shot of everything all put together. And here it is with the case on top. Here it is vertically. Everything was okay. There was no issue. Um, let's see. I did do some testing with the thermals. Played a couple of games here. Oh, here's an ad. Sorry. Cyberpunk. You can see the CPU. Oh, no, we switched to Call of Duty now. I'm just going to pause that. So what have we got here? This is all 4K settings. Getting about 76 frames per second. GPU utilization is 92%. 71 degrees Celsius on the GPU. CPU average 57 degrees, and getting up as high as 83 on that. No issues. There was no thermal throttling. This was a non-K processor. Everything worked out fine. So now we just go back to Newegg's website here. If we bring up our friend here, the Fractal Design Ridge. Oh, nice. It's on sale.
How much is it?
$10 off. Woohoo! 199.99 Canadian. So here we are. This is the new small form factor.
Not too shabby.
It's not the Node 202. It's improved. It has lots of ventilation. Has radiator support if you're running a small GPU, which is not going to happen. It's pretty sweet. See, this is the great part. You've got the dual chamber, and you've got all this cut out here for the CPU and PSU area here,
No, you're
which
not sharing the screen with me here, so share it. You go into our Messenger, Facebook, and it says share screen. You can share it.
oh, hang on.
I also sent you a link for the CPUs that we could discuss in the chat.
Hold on. There you go. Can you see my screen?
I cannot.
Well, it was shared with you. Accept it.
All right, I see it.
Good. So yeah, look, on Newegg we've got some customer images here. There we go. There's a 3090 Ti shoved inside. Pretty cool setup.
Pretty nice.
So one of the things I will not be doing is running SSDs, of course. I'll just be using one NVMe drive. What that's going to do is just help basically keep down the cable clutter, and I think it's going to give you more room for PSU cooler clearance. This is a great picture. Look at this shot here. Look at this.
Yeah, it's not that much bigger in terms of
Yeah,
volume than a PS5.
yeah.
Is this Gamers Nexus? Oh no, because I see
No,
the coaster, the Gamers Nexus, which I
yeah,
wanted to
no.
order.
Someone bought it. This is
Yeah,
just people. That's a great shot. I mean, look at that.
it
You got
is.
you got the PS5 there. You've got this system here that can pretty much trump that PS5 in every shape, way, or form. 3090 Ti. Even managed to fit a little Jurassic Park Ford Explorer in there.
Oh, nice.
That's nice. That's a 750 watt SFX PSU. Great part about this case is it can actually support SFXL, so you can go a little bit larger. The difference between SFX and SFXL is the SFX uses, I think, a 92 millimeter fan, and the SFXL uses a full 120. So it's just a little bit deeper, but the remaining dimensions are the same. So anything over 850 watts, they're all going to be SFXL. So that's where I'm stuck deciding between um, the EVGA 850 SFX, which is about 200 under $300, and the next jump from there to the Silverstone 1000 watt PSU is $450, just twice the price, a little bit larger. So I'm thinking I'm not sure what to do because this is going to be kind of a budgetless setup. I'm not worried about what I'm investing in it because it's going to be done right. Your suggestion is what? Just stick with the 850?
For a 4080, I would stick with the 850. I mean, you're saving 200-300 bucks by going that route with the 850 power supply. But then if you have 1,000 watts, you're set for future upgrades. I don't know. If it's the budget list, go for the 1,000 watts.
1000 watt Silverstone, eh?
Yep.
All right, no more images here. So if we just quickly, so we decided it's going to be a black fractal design ridge. That's what's happening there.
1,000 watt PSU confirmed.
Let's bring up the let's do this. The Asus ROG Loki SFXL 649. This is the Chinese edition.
The Loki.
The
How do you
Loki.
know it's a Chinese? How do you know it's a Chinese
Well,
edition?
first it ships from China, and when you go on to Asus website, it says right now, because this just launched in December, this
Yeah.
PSU, and it's only available in China. So whatever you're buying here comes from China. I'm guessing that within maybe by February, there'll be a North American version, might be a bit cheaper. Um,
Does the
yeah,
Silverstone have 1,000 watt
yeah,
SFX?
they do.
So get Silverstone.
Where is it? Oh, it's coming from China as well. What's going on here?
But they're all coming probably from the same supplier. It's shipped by
Yeah.
Newegg or no?
Amazon has it too, I think. Let's just check out Amazon. Silverstone 1000 watt SFX. Yeah, that would be the one. There she blows. That's priced at 600 here as well. Yeah, I don't know. It's an 80 platinum,
Yeah.
the EVGA 850. We're just gonna go back here. So looks like pricing kind of bit me in the butt there.
Oh,
EVGA,
you're gonna be paying over $500 for 1,000 watts SFX. That's
yeah,
given, given for sure.
yeah. So here's the 850 SFX.
Yeah.
It's a, I believe it's a gold. I think it is a gold. Gold versus platinum. I mean, as long as it's not white.
So again, you don't have any. You can't see inside that case anyway. It's a fractal case. So
No, it's not for that. It's for reliability, I guess. But if I can get away with 850 and Nvidia says yes, is everything okay with
you
the
can
stream?
for
Are
4080.
we still streaming here?
I believe so. Yeah, we are. It's a little delayed when I look at it, but we are.
It's heavily delayed.
But it says we're live. Yeah. So again, you want to go with 850 or 1,000 watts. There's a big price difference between them. You're like a $200 increase in your budget. The 1,000 watts, you're being here. You're future proofing, I guess. Depending on what comes out next year. Well, next year will probably be a small refresh that we won't buy from the GPU perspective. But in 2 years from now, when the 5000 series comes out, will the 5080, 5090 Ti be more efficient? Will it be more power hungry? Are they going to be chiplet design? It's going to be monolithic. We don't know. 1,000 watts, you're set. 850, yeah, maybe you'll be able to get away with it.
Yeah, probably gonna look into the 1000 watt.
Because you never buy like the overkill cards. You always buy the one step down. Right? Ever since I've known you, you've never bought like,
No,
oh,
that's
I
not
need the.
true. Bought 2080 Ti's.
Did you? Oh yes, you
Yep,
did. You did. You
it's
did
just
buy
with the
28 Ti.
3000 series, and the only reason I did that was because of availability and form factor, because of the Meshify C. And then what ended up happening is EVGA XC3 came out in the 3090 form factor, but forget it. It was too
But you
good.
also bought. Okay, so you had the 3080, and now you had the 4080. They're not the
Yeah,
top tier
they're
cards
not
yet.
top tier. No,
So are you gonna aim for a 5080, or are you gonna go for 5090? Like what exists? Like what do you think? What's your future path going
probably just
forward?
5080.
If you're gonna be at the 80 tier class, then you're probably okay with 850 watts going forward for the next few generations.
So now looking at the motherboards, this is where things get more expensive again. Small form
So
factor.
AMD's announced for the AM5. Okay, so basically you're going AM5 for this. You're
That's
going
right.
AMD, and you want the new 3D chips that are coming out next month. So
7000
AMD
series.
and yes, so the AMD announced that there are going to be cheaper motherboards coming out.
Okay.
from the B series. But for me, if you're gonna go, if this can be your HTPC, and if it does fit regular ATX, I would just get an X670
Why would you say that?
because you have more lanes, right? You could put tons of storage.
Tons of storage, but I'm limited to small form factor anyway.
But that case takes ATX, doesn't it?
No.
It doesn't take ATX.
No.
Okay, so then you're stuck. Okay, so I would go then. For that's the case, I'd go B650.
That is
I thought it
a
did take. I thought
mini
it did take
ITX.
ATX.
No, not even
Okay,
micro.
then so in theory, B650 in terms of CPU options, I mean they're both PBO enabled. You can both overclock. They both take the same RAM speeds and all that stuff. The only thing you're losing is basically lanes
Lanes. Yeah.
and maybe some of the aesthetics. But I mean, some of these
Forget
B650
aesthetics.
motherboards are still nice.
Hey, look at this one here.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's pretty nice.
It's got an M.2 cooler. I mean,
So how
it's
many M.2 does this thing take? One, two?
good question.
Like you have to have 2 terabytes.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Is
two.
So does it take two slots, or you get one two
I
terabyte
think there's
NVMe?
a slot on the back as well, but on the front it's just one
Well,
right under
check
this
check
cooler
the
here.
check the features.
Let's see for storage. Two times PCIe, one times. Yeah, it has two M.2 slots.
Okay, so you're good. Wi-Fi, right?
Wi-Fi.
You're not Ethernet, so it's Wi-Fi 6.
It's
Let's
Wi-Fi
verify.
6. Yeah.
Okay.
Onboard audio,
Yeah, it's
everything.
ALC. It's the latest Realtek chipset.
RGB controller, everything.
You don't care about RGB for this.
Nope, but if I somehow start getting disgusted by the the build and want to pull it out and put it into something else like an open air bench or something like that, I mean that it's good to know. It's good to know there are
Yeah.
options. I think overall
Yes.
it's a good board. I think one of the limitations was it can run only up to 6600 megahertz for DDR5.
Yeah, that's AM5.
Yeah.
That's AM5 right now. That's
Oh,
what
okay.
the
So
limitation is.
so 7000 RAM for any of the CPUs is just going to be limited then.
It's the AMD specifies use 6,000
Okay,
as mega transfers per second.
I see.
So most of the test benches are just DDR5 6,000 with very very low CL timings. So
Well, I've got my eye on this one, price-wise, aesthetics. Also, the question was, since I'll be using a low-profile cooler, which will be the same one you have. It's the Noctua. Oh, well, the longest name in the history of parts, Noctua LS. Let's just do it this way. Noctua low-profile cooler.
aren't you just taking mine?
I could take yours, yeah, if
So
you've got it undamaged.
it's undamaged except the box you destroyed. So
The box that we had to destroy, no choice. Um, so yeah, this is the you have the 120 millimeter version, right? The improved.
yes,
They went from a 92 millimeter fan, which is
to
still for sale,
120.
called the Ghost Edition. I don't know why you would want to buy that. I don't know.
So yeah, I have the 120 skinnier fan. Again, I paired this with my 5600X
Yeah,
in that Cooler Master case that was a
yeah,
disaster, and it did the job.
it did.
It did the job in that disaster case with a 3080 Ti in a hot box, and it did the job. It cooled the 5600X. The the fractal case you're going through has much more airflow, even though it's small form factor. So this should be sufficient.
This should be sufficient. Now, the setup for this was that you had the air blow up and through, or did it suck in and down?
No, up and through like that. Heat rises, right? So
Yeah.
it throws it out, and then it goes up. Except in that hot box, it had quantum. entanglement going on inside there, and it
Yeah,
never went anywhere. The heat.
right,
Do
right.
not buy that case.
Yeah, well, there's a shot of it in its low profile format.
Yeah.
Um, Not sure why they would use low profile format in this type of setup here. They could have put
Oh
the
yeah.
fan on top,
I don't.
but
I don't think so. I don't think so. That's what kind of case is it? Does it say?
I don't know. It looks fractal design actually. Yeah, look at the case fan in the back is fractal, so yeah, that's a fractal case. That's like the what's that one that had the door in the front? I used to have that too.
I don't remember. Mesh, not the Meshify.
No, no, it's old. It was like for super quietness. You can see
I
in there
don't
it
remember.
has lots of sound deadening nonsense in there. Small form factor. Okay. Well, that's the cooler that'll be used. So that motherboard that we were looking at earlier is compatible with this cooler, but can only be mounted in a certain way. Like the issue is with the heat pipes here. They have to be in a certain angle, not to interfere with some of the aesthetics of this motherboard, like generally this part here, where they have all this extra fancy shit. So it does work. It's just that you have to have it in a certain position. So so that's going to be that. In addition to that, with the cooler, see, it's like every part has a thought process to go through. There'll only be one type of RAM that I'll be able to use, and that's going to be has to be low profile RAM. And with
It's gonna be the
DDR5,
Vengeance.
no, the Vengeance is too tall because there's no Vengeance LPX anymore for
What do you
DDR5.
mean?
It's going to have to be the Ripjaws by who's that by? Ripjaw Skills?
Yeah, the Skill
Yeah,
X.
Skill X. DDR5 low profile. So the clearance, oh, maybe they don't have it here. I think Amazon does.
I'm looking at DDR5 Vengeance right now on Amazon. When did they
Yeah,
stop?
Vengeance, but it's not LPX. It's not the low profile.
Yeah, it is.
It's not
Is
it's
it?
not low enough. So the Vengeance, so here's the here if you want to get technical, let's get technical.
But how is this not low profile enough? It looks the same as my Vengeance kits.
So here, let's get technical. This is where research has to be done. So going to the Noctua site, um, let's see here. Oh, so many ads. Oh, I don't want this site. I want the actual Noctua. There we go. This should be it. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, RAM clearance. I'm gonna ram something up this thing's butt if it doesn't give me the information I'm looking for. Alright, so if you run the fan on top in its high profile usage, you're gonna get RAM clearance, I believe, of modules up to 48 millimeters. So that would be okay with the Corsair Vengeance. Um, with a fan installed underneath, the total height of the cooler is only 70 millimeters. And hey, why aren't you telling me what I need to see? It was about 34 millimeters of clearance.
Okay.
and the Ripjaw Skills X DDR5 happens to be 33 millimeters clearance. So you have 1 millimeter of space between the fan and the RAM. So that's how that works out. That's why I specifically picked out that memory. The Corsair memory would work if the fan was mounted on top, which is not going to be the case. So specifically going to have to go with that particular company for the DDR5.
Skillex? I think it's Skillex, right? Or
Skillex.
Skillex? Yeah. I had those. I had DDR3 Skillex rip jaws. They were pretty good.
Oof, oof.
They were my 9900K. It was not too bad.
Here we go. Here's a literally. Oh, this is different actually. It's gonna look something like this. This is like super low profile. Um, Here it is, 6,000 megahertz, DDR5, 32. That I'll also be going for 32 gigabytes. Totally unnecessary for a gaming only setup, but just in case I want to do any video editing or anything like that, streaming, editing, cutting, whatever, that's what it's going to be.
Okay.
So
Or
that
G
D,
Skill. That's it. Not
yeah,
Skillex. G Skill.
G
Yes.
skill, G skill.
But I had RAM from G Skill for my DDR3 9900K. It was fine. Overclocked pretty decently as well. So I'm not too worried from the make here. That should be okay.
Yeah, I believe it's this right here. No, that's the flare as well. It's the rip jaws that we need.
Yeah.
The Flare X I think is a bit taller. But anyway, that's the memory that's going to be in there. This leads us back to memory, sorry, storage, and the M.2 game is getting pretty crazy here. What are you running? You're running Gen 3 or Gen 4 on the Corsair?
I have two Gen 4s on my gaming PC.
Okay.
One Western Digital, the other one Corsair. They're
Um,
both 5,000 mega transfers per second, if I'm not believe.
you have the MP 600.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what's
There's
going.
the there's the MP600 Pro that has 7,000 mega read.
Okay. What about the Pro
Ma-
XT?
Is it the Pro XT or Pro? Okay,
Well,
so the
there's
Pro
Pro.
XT is the Pro. Go down to the Pro.
So this is the
What's
Pro
the
XT. This is the
but
Pro.
this is the newer model though. Mine was last gen PCI 4.0.
So this is the
MP600.
7,000 sequential read and 6850 write.
Yes.
That's what you have?
Yes.
Okay.
So what's the Pro XT? What's the
Let's
difference?
let's take a look at the Pro XT. It looks badass too. 7100 and
That's
6800.
Remember, you have a cooler
Yeah.
on yours. You would have to take this one off.
Oof. Yeah, I don't want to be doing that. Maybe I'll take the cooler off and just leave this beauty. Look at that. That's intense.
Yeah.
Corsair and its aesthetics. Yeah.
I think your cooler's embedded with the heatsink of the VRMs. If you go back to your,
No, I think it's separate, but I think it's separate. Maybe not. Yeah, it's separate.
that's separate. Okay, you're good then.
I mean, it's always nice to have that in there, but I don't know. I don't know if it'll clear. I'm looking at it.
Anywhere
No.
between 5,000 to 7,000 reads, you're set.
Yeah.
You should be good for direct storage coming up. That's basically gives PCs the same performance of in reading capacity like the Xbox and PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So anything between 5,000 and 7,000 megahertz, you
Yeah.
should be fine. Not megahertz, sorry, read. So I would just go to Corsair, get the MP600, MP600 Pro, or MP600 XT. Get one of those, you're set. That's a terabyte. The 2 terabyte models are extremely expensive though.
Not too bad. Here, let's if we just look at their top-notch one here. If we
Is that 2 terabytes or one? That's two.
2 terabytes.
264, that's not too bad.
It's not too bad at all. Now that becomes
Uh,
intense.
I also have my second one is a Western Digital Black.
Yeah.
It didn't come with a heatsink, and it's over 5,000 read,
Okay.
and it doesn't heat up. So I'm base within my fan tech, the passive airflow is enough to cool it.
All right. No, this is LPX. So this is a low profile one.
Yeah, it's just what's the Pro? It's still 6,000
It's
over.
Pro LPX M.2.
Okay.
This is optimized for PS5. I'm not getting too many specifications here, but let's go down. Hello, Newegg specifications. See, it's because it's for console people, it doesn't give you any information. Oh, there you go. 7100 and 6800. Wow. So same specs as the Pro XT,
Yeah,
just a smaller cooler. Well, that's a great price.
it is.
Oof. Just minus the cool cooler, which, well, if you have a fan system, you're not going to see it anyway. But perfect. So that'll be that. What are we left with? Uh, Case fans. There'll be nothing in there for case fans. I'll be stuck. Okay, what am I using for GPU? Well, if you guys haven't seen the video that I've already created on my on our channel, currently running the RTX 4080 by MSI. It's the Ventus 3, was specifically hand-picked because it's actually the smallest card you can get other than the Founders Edition. The Fractal Design Ridge. I mean, this card is barely getting in there. So let's get the tech specs open here. Where are you for sizing? No sizing. No one pays attention to size. Who cares? As long as it fits. Here, let's do this. Oh, come on. I should have had all this open before. Specifications for the Ridge. So GPU max length without an SSD installed is 335 millimeters. Thickness will be 57. There'll be no fans installed. Cannot run those two fans that come with it, so it'll be 82 millimeters without the side fans. And the MSI RTX 4080 Ventus 3 with the specifications here. Again, we're just barely fitting everything in here. So it's 322.
Yeah,
The thickness is 63. You know what? If you think of it that way, 82. No, I was thinking of squeezing in a slim fan, like at 15 millimeters, but no, that's cutting it too close. Something's gonna something's gonna touch. Yeah, 63 and 82. It would work. Slim fans are about 15 millimeters, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you know what and the whole point of having something at the top there is to vent hot air. So basically you're going to have hot air coming from the CPU up into the GPU area, and even though the GPU is pretty thick, so it's close to the ventilation fins on the case, having one fan there work in some sort of an exhaust might not be a bad idea. Actually, it might be a bad idea. because the GPU is sucking in air, and you're gonna have a
Yeah.
fan fighting it, blowing air out. What you really need to do is have the support for top fans, because you can mount up to 380 millimeter fans on the top of the case. Those are really tiny fans, but that won't work if you're running a massive thick GPU. So GPU thickness is 57 with two 140s, 82 millimeter without side fans. What about the top fans? So with a max height of 125, if you run the 80 millimeter fans, or 137 without. And if we look at the MSI, we're sitting at 136 for thickness.
Jesus.
Also, already it's pushing it. And I mean, it's gonna fit. It is gonna fit. Um, I wonder how the cable connection is gonna work. How the hell is that cable gonna connect to the supply 3-pin connector?
Is it a daisy chain though? Like on the
Yeah,
right hand side of it?
but it no, it's not on the side. It's on the side of the card, but at the top, right?
Yeah.
So that's clearance in itself as well, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to account for the bend of that cable.
True.
I mean, let's look here. Fractal.
Well, I think PC Centric did the build and it cleared, if I'm not
Yeah, but they were
mistaken.
using Founders editions. I think Founders editions are thinner. Let's see.
So you're saying it's not going to clear at the
Oh,
top.
I'm saying I'm still gonna do this.
But how are you going to do it if you can't clear the top?
Well, I'm just gonna quickly look at what other people have done. Uh, Maybe I should use Google. That would be a better idea.
Well, put Fractal Design Bridge on a 4080.
Yeah, it's just everyone uses Founders Edition cards. Yeah, see? Here's someone's build. Okay, no other pictures, thank you. Oh, shoot. Look at that.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yes. This is a great point. This case is like super fully modular, right? Like every part of the case can come off. So this part here is where the GPU is, but then there's
Yeah, so
another part where there's room for cables. It's like the
yeah.
lid. That's what we're not seeing here.
Yeah, but you can't bend.
You can bend. I have mine bent right now. It's bent quite a bit.
It's
It's
dangerous.
it's pretty
Dangerous, I'm telling
flexible.
you.
So 4080 power cable sticking out. Afraid to bend these cables, so just letting them stick out for now. Oof.
Yeah.
Other people were able to. Why is this guy afraid? I don't really want to go on this guy's channel, but might have no choice. Here's a view for you.
Yeah, it's PC centric. He
That's
built
it.
it,
He
but
did. A lot of people did.
he did it. I don't know if he could. I don't know if the. I remember watching this, and I don't think he closed the top.
Oh, they would all have to close the top. Uh-oh. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, He's got it bent quite a bit. There it is right there at the top. And there it is. So if we look at the 4080 FE dimensions, it's 310 by 140, so okay. It's the MSI is smaller. The card's dimensions are 310, so the Founders Edition
Yeah.
is shorter by length, but is fatter. Wait, can we use that word online? No.
Yes, you can.
um, yeah, it's a bit fatter and it's got a bit more girth. There we are. So the MSI card is a better candidate for this. It's just longer than the Founders Edition. So in the case of him getting all this crammed in here for the PSU, no, not PSU cables, the uh-oh section, what it means is that my card is just going to be a little bit shorter. It has that, how much? 4 millimeters clearance? 4 millimeters. Hey, 4 millimeters is 4 millimeters in small form factor. So if he was able to shut that down, put the put the lid on the top and get it going, then we're good. There's case reassembly. Okay. So what did he do here? It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I don't
And
know.
in addition to that, uh, if you look at if you look at the way the card is set up, this is a little bit indented where the connector goes in. I don't know if the FE is the same. Is it also have a little bit of an indent, or is it just sitting right at the edge? I doubt we're gonna get a picture of that. No one ever wants to show the ugly side. No, it sits right on it, see? You able to see that?
Yeah.
So with the Ventus, you're able to get a little bit more room. I think this will be fine.
Asking for trouble here.
I didn't say it was going to be easy. Yeah, you see how like this is just being compared to another card here? So
Yeah.
the pins are just at right flush with the card's board, whereas with the MSI card, even if you get another like 2-3 millimeters of room there, you're good. And if we go back to my channel here, which I hope all of you guys are subscribed to, if we go to my video here, let's just wait for the ad. Yep, there we go. Where do we have all the connections? Yeah, see, I've got pretty decent bend on that right there.
Asking for trouble.
It's no trouble. It's going to be just fine.
All right.
Look at that. Perfect.
Oh yeah, that's gonna burn down for sure.
That's not going to burn down. They didn't say anything about the bending. They said it was about sitting.
It's the bend. It's how it sits, and the connector has to be fully in.
Connector's fully in. There'll be no issues with
Yeah.
this. How many 4080s blew up? It was all 4090s.
Oh, thousands of 4080s destroyed.
We're
Millions.
good. Look at that. Look at that. Perfect. It's a thing. It's a thing of beauty. It'll be just fine. So yeah, that's that. That's happening in about a month from now. So stay tuned.
Well, you didn't cover your CPU.
CPU. Who needs a CPU?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Might
No.
might as well. So I sent the link. We can review the X3D models.
Where's your link?
I sent it in chat.
Which chat?
Your regular Facebook chat. It's there.
Oh, I can't go in there. That's private.
Well, minimize. So just go to videocards.com and then you'll see. Videocards.com.
Oh, is this the site? This looks like a porn site.
It's a Z, not an S. They're next level, man. Videocards.com.
Yeah, that looked like one of those bad sites.
Yeah.
OnlyFans. All right, are we going to the 77,000 X3D series?
Yeah, right there. First,
Yes.
top left.
No, that's Lisa Sue.
There you go.
So what do we want to know about them?
So there's three CPUs, right? That are coming out. Scroll
Yeah,
down. No, what are you doing here?
you
No,
said top
not
left-hand
Lisa Sue.
corner. I was in the
No,
right
top.
place.
No, go back. Oh
This.
God. Yes, this is the right one. Scroll down to the three CPUs that they're showing in that. There we go. Three CPUs that they're launching. People have heard of this by now. These will be the gaming kings going forward. So the three SKUs are the 7950X3D, the 7900X3D, and the 7800X3D. The difference between them is that the 7950 and the 7900 have similar clocks than their non 3D variants, while the 7800 X3D is gimped by 400 megahertz compared to
Yeah,
its non 3D variant. Now, the reason for this, I believe, is that the 7950 and the 7900X 3Ds have multiple chiplets, where the 7800X 3D has one. And from what I've read, is that for the 900 ones, that the chiplets, one set of chiplets will have the 3D cache and the other chiplet will not. So it's kind of like a hybrid topography of technology here. So what I believe what's going to happen is that the side with the chiplets won't boost higher than 5 gigahertz, and the side without the chiplets with the Vcache, sorry, and the sides without the Vcache will hit their top boost clock. So that Windows 11 and Windows 10 are going to need to define what needs the Vcache and what doesn't. Whereas 7800 X3D is just, it doesn't matter. It's just always going to top out at 5 gigahertz no matter what.
right.
So in gaming, I believe they're all going to be similar in performance.
At 4K gaming,
It
especially.
doesn't matter. It's just going to be all similar because the 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 chiplet with that hits 5 gigahertz and the Vcache will be the one that Windows schedules correctly for a video game. Well, in productivity, it's gonna for the 7950 and 7900 X3Ds are gonna perform similarly to their non-X3D variants
Yeah,
because it will use the chiplet without the Vcache and the high clock speeds. So it's similar to what Intel does for their Big Little uh, architecture.
right.
Instead of having big and small cores, this will have uh, big cores with extra cache and big cores without extra cache. So for you, I mean, I still believe the 900 ones are going to be way harder than the 800.
Yeah,
More cache stacked, plus more chiplets to manage, plus higher clock speeds. And they will generate more heat, even though they're all 120 watts. They will generate more heat than the
yeah.
7800 XPD.
Possible. We'll have to wait for some reviews and see how that works out. I mean, the chances are someone using the same cooler I want to use for the CPUs for testing. I don't think anyone's going to do a low profile cooler test. Although that would be a great video.
Well,
If only we
you
could
could
get
do
our
it.
hands on three CPUs.
Well, I'm gonna get a 7900 X3D.
Yeah.
I'm gonna upgrade my 5800 X3D gaming 4K gaming HD PC will move to my office, and I'll get the 7900 X3D
Why
as
not
the
just get
gaming.
7950X 3D?
No, I don't need it.
Why
I don't need
not?
16 cores.
Why not?
I because the price difference is gonna be like $200-300.
Okay.
I don't need those extra 4 cores.
But you
I
already
just
have
need the
high
clock
tier
speed.
4090, right?
Yeah,
So why not
yeah.
just get the highest tier CPU as well?
Because there's not going to be there won't be a benefit for my use case.
Was there a benefit for your use case to get a 4090 versus a 4080?
Yes,
Why? How? No, there's no
because
difference.
yes. What do you mean? There's no difference in 4K? There's like it's 30% faster.
I'm still getting, in the type of games we play, I'm getting probably the same frames per second that you are.
No, you're
So what's the
not.
difference? Yeah, I get 120 locked on Destiny 2, for
Okay,
example.
and
And
I get like mine are way over
okay,
120.
but there's no benefit for you to play over, right? Because you're screen tearing after at that point.
Yeah. Okay, but so Destiny. But then if you go to Callisto Protocol, your GPU is going to tank compared to mine. So yeah, it will. There's a huge difference.
I would
So
take the
there's
7950 if I were you.
never for me. I don't need it. I don't do the productivity on this PC that require 16 cores.
I
My
do.
8 core 5800 X3D is enough for productivity for me for my work.
Yeah.
So, but that's gonna go upstairs into my office with the 3080 Ti, and I'm gonna have a 7900 X3D in my main gaming room because it's going to feed so all those scenarios where the 4090 is CPU limited,
Yeah.
the 7900 X3D should easily fix those problems.
Yeah. Look at the cache difference from the 7800 to 7900. That's intense, though.
So gaming performance should be similar between all three. Maybe 1, 2, 3% difference, but they should all be similar.
So we don't know what the base clock is going to be on the 7800X3D.
I'm guessing it's gonna be 4.3.
Lower
That's
than
my
the
guess.
7900. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, my guess is 4.3. They should all be about 20% maximum faster than the 5800 X3D. They
Yeah.
should all be faster than the 13900K and the new 13900KS. So Intel has nothing to beat these things, guaranteed. If you just take the 5800X versus the 5800X 3D difference, it's an insane amount of difference.
Yeah.
Where the 5800 X3D slaughtered the 12900K in most scenarios,
Yeah.
and then still managed to fight the new 7000 and 13,000 series of Intel
Right.
and AMD. So it's the Vcache is a great technology for gaming.
Right.
Now I don't know. I guess from an AMD perspective, they released the chips additionally without the Vcache. I guess for sales
Hmm.
to then do a refresh and have basically more things to sell this year. I don't know. To me, the Vcache should just be standard in all AMD chips. But I guess they see it as a way to upsell people going forward.
Oh yeah. Talk to me about the this is the IHS um, cover here on the CPU. This is a which current processors have this right now? All of them?
All the
All the
AMD ones
7000
have this.
series?
Yeah.
Your 5800X3D is not like that. I think it's
No,
just
it's
a
the
flat
flat.
surface. So
Yeah.
cooler compatibility is going to be a thing now. We'll have to see if
No,
the
it's there's not. It's all anything that works on AM5 works on this.
mean anything that works on AM4 will work on AM5.
I'm not 100% sure if that's the
Ooh,
case.
we'll have to see.
It's possible.
I'll have to
So
write.
you need to
I'll
verify.
actually send an email to Noctua to find out if that's if that particular cooler is going to work, or do they have to release a new bracket?
Well, just wait. I think just check
No, because it's
AM5
not on there right now.
Noctua compatibility list.
AM, oh, AM5 is there. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, well, no. Well,
So it's
the 3D processors aren't there.
well, it should be the same thing. So it fits. It works.
Yeah. Oh, and interesting. So CPU might fall below base clock when used under continuous full load on cores.
Well, that's 7900X, of course. That's why I
Yeah.
tell you,
Yeah.
8 cores max for you, guaranteed
Yeah.
with this CPU with this cooler.
Yeah. Are these also 120 watt TDP?
No, they're higher.
They're higher. Okay. Okay. Well.
All of these boost over 5 gigahertz, right?
Yeah. Ah, true. True.
And
True. True. Yeah.
so to keep it under the 120 watt TDP, that's what I'm saying is that the side with the V cache won't go over 5 gigahertz.
Yeah. uh, Noctua's site. Look at this compatibility tester. Like this is nice. Who else does this?
So it should fit with your thing, with your platform.
Yeah. Let's see. So what was the motherboard we were looking at? B650i. Yeah. So it does work with that motherboard. Um, let's look at the RAM. DDR5. Corsair. See, we're gonna get the Oh well, Corsair Vengeance 35 millimeters. I'm not gonna chance that. Not gonna chance it. G skill. There we go. That's what we're looking for. I want to see green check marks. So yeah, so that's the setup. RTX 4080 by MSI, MSI motherboard, MITX, 32 gigs of DDR5, AMD 7800X3D, fractal design Ridge in black, 2 terabyte M.2, the fastest I can fit in there, and a SFX power supply torn between 850 and 1000. That's going to be a decision that I'll make between now and February. Uh, if anyone's watching, go ahead and leave your comments and what you think about that. Should I go with 1000 watt? Should I go with an 850 watt? And we'll take it from there. Anything
All
you
right.
want to add?
Thanks, everybody. Well, that's it for us. We should hopefully get some more videos coming out soon.
Oh yeah,
We have a VR one that's in the process. That's gonna be hilarious. Maybe that will be done when you're coming back from vacation, right?
yep,
So we'll do that after. You'll probably see it at the end of February.
sweet. Real quick, thermal paste. Is the thermal grizzly craze still in
Yeah,
effect, or
just get Grizzly. You have
thermal
to,
grizzly?
or even a Noxua paste. It
The
doesn't really
Noctua
matter.
NH1 or NH2,
Yeah.
I hear good things about them.
Yeah. So I don't know. Thermal Grizzly or Noxua, you won't go wrong.
Nice. All right. Well, that's it for that. So if you guys watched this whole video through, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to check out the other videos on the site. Check out my RTX 4080 video on the Meshify C because that rig is going to be falling apart. Everything is going to be taken out and sold except for the GPU. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Take
Peace
care,
out.
everyone.